Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, does not cost anything. If there's anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And this is the Princess of Pentacles. First of all, this card is sort of representative of the real deep and dead of winter, right? It's cold, it's barren, it's sterile, okay? It's a frozen landscape. There's no green life here, right? No verdant energy. This card has the potential to transform into the Empress card, okay? Which means that you're somebody who can look at something, anything, yourself, the world, a particular situation, and you can see the good that is in it. You could see the potential that something has, okay? And I guess the question is it your duty, is it your work, is it your purpose to work to bring this potential out? We're looking at a patch of dirt. We know it could be a beautiful garden. Is that your work, right? What is the Princess of Pentacles in your life? That it is your responsibility, your duty, your purpose, your destiny to bring the potential from. Well, let's put this card into a little bit of context. Let's see what is going on here with this kind of energy. We have a 4 of Wands, a 2 of Wands, a Princess of Wands, and, of course, your Sagittarius power card. That is the Art or Temperance card, which rules the sign of Sagittarius. So that's a very important factor here. And then we've got some water energy going forward. Very nice. A lot of effort I see in this. Okay, a lot of discipline, a lot of diligence. Now, on the path of the Serpent, we have more water. We have a 6 of Cups. We have a 4 of Swords. That devil energy. And the Chariot card, interesting. You're becoming the vehicle for this particular work, okay? I feel that Princess of Pentacles is something that you recognize has tremendous potential for you right now, and I think that the 4 of Wands is about you completing that, or not completing that, but putting the effort in on a regular basis in order to make progress. You know, it feels like it's kind of where we understand it's going to be a bit of a grind, right? We see sort of a cycle or a repetition with this card. But this card is also not just about like kind of the daily work and kind of going through the repetitiveness of the work, but it's also Venus in Aries, right? So it kind of shows that there's a particular beauty and joy in this for you, and to me it really feels creative and artistic. And I don't know if what you're doing is creative and artistic, but it really feels like that. But we'll see. We'll talk about it some more. First, let's do our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And we're just going to set it down right here with Mr. Tao, the yin-yang duck, right there on top. And now we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. But if you feel like you know what that card is, you have a prediction, put that down in the comments, all right? Now, let's take a look around the room. We see some good major arcana energy, don't we? We see your power card, your true self, your Sagittarius art card, or temperance. We also see the devil, the driving force. Also, kind of a card of temptation in a way. Maybe a temptation here of getting too distracted by some of the material results of what you're doing. Because, see, we've got next the Chariot. It's kind of like it is your duty. It is your obligation to your own soul to be a vehicle for whatever this is. Okay. We see fire, fire, fire. We see water and water. We got just a little tiny bit of air. And really, we just have a little tiny bit of earth, but this earth has the potential to become everything. This is a life-changing thing, but I think it's going to require commitment. It's going to require letting go of something also from the past that I think we've kind of been holding on to something. There's some issue in your life that's not quite been concluded, that there's still some sort of so-called closure that we're looking for that is, and it could be something very simple, but it's preventing us from really putting all of our energy into this Princess of Pentacles, which will become everything in life for you, okay? It's going to be a very, very, very big win, okay, with the Six of Cups here. The worry for you is that there's the material results, the rewards, the material pleasures of this work are going to sort of distract you. All right, we're kind of tempted by, in a way, with that Devil card, it feels like we're tempted by the paycheck of it, right? We're tempted by the material rewards. When you're kind of, those are nice, we want those. Yes, we do, right? But we also don't want to corrupt this feeling of, kind of the purity of the mission, the purity of the purpose behind it all. Okay? So, the Devil card's going to be interesting when we get there, because we do need that. We do need the ambition. We do need the driving force to succeed, to do well at this. But we don't want to be consumed by winning the race or getting the rewards for its own sake. Okay, so the devil, it's kind of like, it's our best friend, but it's also our sort of worst enemy, So you have a lot of fire, and really not that much water and not that much air and the earth here. But the Four of Wands is really it's kind of saying that it's time to set off again for adventure. I think that once we are able to conclude something from the past, and I almost feel that you sort of started something already, and it was kind of, it was very quick. It happened kind of suddenly. There wasn't a lot of thinking about it. We just sort of jumped into something. I think you got to wrap that up, because your true calling is here. I think you're sort of, it's almost like you're going to jump into buying a house kind of impulsively. Then you realize that your real home is this one over here. And so we're kind of thinking, okay, well, I'm glad I didn't jump in and get locked into something else too soon, when, the one that I really need to do, my real mission, is over here. So I feel like either you're in the process of kind of starting something that it feels like we've started something just to start something, just to have something to kind of get involved with. It's kind of like you're about to buy all the the guitar and all the sheet music and buy the guitar lessons, and I want to do something. But then I think what happens is we realize, wait a minute, it's not the guitar that I want to do, it's the piano or the drums or the xylophone or something. And so we kind of feel like, wow, I almost jumped into something that wasn't really meant for me. So I feel that and I don't know if this is more about a relationship or if it's about a career choice, that we were about to make I keep feeling the word impulsive because of our Princess of Wands here, but I feel like we have to make sure that we sort of hit the brakes on something else, or very respectfully kind of finish that thing so we can do what really needs to happen here. You know what I mean? There's something that needs to end before this new thing can begin. Yeah. And I feel that with the Two of Wands here, it's kind of like we don't want to have to switch gears so fast, but we know we can. The Two of Wands is a card of control, really, right? And the only thing we can control is ourselves, is our reactions to things. Okay, we can control our attention, our conscious energy. We can control where we're putting our eyes. Where we're looking at is where where the body's gonna go. You know. And with this past thing or this previous thing, it's not something that you got locked into. It's not something that has been finalized yet. And so we have this idea of like there's still time to kind of change course a little bit or change gears. Now I don't know if this is perhaps saying that the one thing that you are going to jump into is not the one, but what you should do is lock into this other thing that you see. This other thing in your life that we're going to call the Princess of Pentacles. This is the one that you really should put your best effort into. And maybe this is already behind you. The Princess of Wands is that kind of impulsive behavior. It's kind of what I'm feeling as we jumped into something and it's we're realizing that, oh wait, this isn't what I really needed to do. And there's any number of reasons why we would do this. We're not getting into that. What we're seeing is this is not the path for you. Okay? So I don't think you signed anything, right? I don't think there's any contract or commitment. And so it's really just a matter of finding the best way to change gears, to change your mind, to change course. And the great thing about this reading is that I don't see any sort of negative swords cards. I don't see any 5, 7, 9, or 10 of swords. So I feel like you're not so worried about feeling guilty for kind of being like, whoa, wait a minute, no, this wasn't the one, I got to go over here. You know, maybe you're just about to hand somebody some money, right? And they're reaching out to grab it, and at the last minute you say, wait a minute, nope, I don't want that one. And you're going to go in a different direction. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Now, we try to avoid that. You know, we try to always get it right on the first try, you know. But sometimes it doesn't work that way, and we have to take control. This is you really kind of grabbing the wheel of the ship and saying, we're not going in that direction. That's not the path. So something is sort of prompting you. And it could be instinct. It could be intuition. It's like you're about to sign on the papers, and you think, wait a minute, nope, I'm putting my pen away. I'm not signing it. I'm not going to do it. I got to go in this other thing over here. I got to go in a different direction. Okay. And I think that different direction is going to be toward your Princess of Pentacles. It's kind of like you're being offered maybe a beautiful opportunity. It's perfect. Everything's already there. Everything's already built. It's a picture perfect life. And you're just about to take it. And then you think, well, no, wait, I'm going to go in this direction over here. This direction is not the perfect life. This direction has challenges. This direction is a pressure cooker, right? This direction is going to be a struggle. So why would I pick this over this? Well, this one over here is going to be yours. This one here is your mission. This is for you to work on and to grow and to help bring out the potential of it. This one over here is already done. This one over here is already finished cooking. There's no point in it. There's no, I mean, it could be enjoyed, yes, but it's not going to be personal. It's not going to be yours, right? Because there was no effort for you in that one, right? So it's kind of like a ready-made life back this way. And I think that we're kind of saying, no, I'm choosing to go here and start my own garden on this patch of dirt because I believe that this is more meaningful to me. And that's what the Six of Cups is over here. The Six of Cups is not just taking what's easiest. Well, yeah, because maybe going back here, jumping into something, yeah. I mean, you see something that just looks beautiful. Anyone in their right mind, right, would grab it up, sign right away. Where do I sign, you know? But you're thinking, no, wait a minute. I'd rather go into the pressure cooker. I'd rather follow the impulse of my true self. I would rather listen to that intuition that says it's going to mean more to you if you have to work for it. It's going to mean more to you if you take this patch of dirt and you till the soil, plant the seeds, water the garden, and help it grow. Because then it's going to be personalized. Then it's going to be yours. Then you can sit back and you can say, I did this. I contributed to this. Was me and the earth, right, that did this. Me and the Princess of Pentacles that built this thing. So I feel that you're kind of intentionally putting yourself into a pressure cooker situation where you're going to change and you're going to change the other thing, the princess. Because you realize that every relationship is an alchemical relationship. This is the art card. It's the card of alchemy. It's the card of, I could go and go to a restaurant and get a perfectly fine meal. Or why don't we stay home and we'll cook together? Why don't I stay home and see what's in the fridge and bring out the potential of all these various ingredients and make my own gumbo? And everyone would be, well, why? They're perfectly fine gumbo at the restaurant. You just go eat that one. You'd rather do it the hard way, but also the way that is more satisfying to you. And so I think that's why the devil card is where it is, because it's kind of like we're tempted to just take the easy way. We're tempted to just jump into something that visually looks perfect. Yes, of course, where do I sign? But we know that our experience in the pressure cooker is going to be much more rewarding, much more beneficial, much more life-changing, and it's going to taste better. You cook something at home, and very often it tastes better than what you would get at the restaurant. I love going to restaurants. In fact, we're going to a restaurant this evening. But my wife and I, we love cooking at home too. It means something more in this case, right? And I don't think this is about food for you. I mean, it might be. But the point is that you're putting yourself into the pressure cooker. That's what the art or temperance card is. It's knowingly entering a situation that's going to require you to evolve, change, grow, adapt, and become something greater than you were yesterday, right? And so this is kind of like we're choosing the difficult road. We're choosing the road less traveled. We're choosing the road of difficulty and struggle and hardship, of hard work. And very often this is the road that has less people on it. Because I think a lot of us would readily take what's already prepared for us, what's already easiest. And we could be talking about life decisions here. What career field are you going to go into? What vocation? What job are you going to take? Which course of university studies are you going to enter into? And the easy road might be, taking, following in your parents' footsteps or something, or taking the career path that was kind of a family tradition or something that just seems the easiest or seems like it's going to pay the most, and it's going to be the kind of quickest path to the good feelings, But what we understand through the fire and the water and the blending of fire and water, because you're a very ambitious person. You have a lot of this fire energy, and you always have, Sagittarius. Every reading we have for you is just loaded up with this fire and kind of this intense sense of direction. And it's okay that sometimes we have to do a complete 90-degree turn, because that is your right to do so. So this is about you grabbing the wheel and turning the wheel and saying, I thought this was a welcome home, but really it's a bon voyage. I'm not done, or this isn't my home, this isn't my resting place, this isn't where I'm going to spend the rest of my life. This isn't where I'm going to stay, right? The Four of Wands kind of is that feeling of like, where is home? Where do I belong? And I feel like you belong here. You belong in this place that needs you. The Princess of Pentacles, remember, is frozen, cold, desolate. This needs you with your warm campfire here to bring out the life, to be the bright light in a very dark world that's going to bring the springtime, that's going to bring the verdant Empress energy out of this situation. So in a way, this is kind of going where your soul is saying, you're not needed here, you're needed here, okay? And so I feel like you understand that very often it is through the struggles and through the challenging circumstances that really have the most meaning. If things were so easy and so kind of ready-made, they wouldn't have the significance. They wouldn't have it wouldn't be the fast track to pleasure. I think it would be quite boring and stagnant for you. So moving into the future, we have this range of emotions here with the Queen of Cups. And I think this is really you having a deeper sit with this, You know, it's easy to jump into something back here, but to consider doing this, putting your effort into this situation that is going to be challenging. This is the pressure cooker, right? I think you really are sitting with this and you're trying to uncover your deepest emotions. You're trying to realize what is truly important to you. Now, the Queen of Cups is a complex card. It's it's a depth. It's layered, right? There's the surface of the water, which is just reflective. It's just shining back to the world whatever it's given you. World sends you crap, you give it crap back. That's it. You're just kind of... It's when someone isn't aware of themselves and they're just kind of doing what everybody else is doing. Everybody around me is doing, making certain choices or interested in certain things, committing to certain things, setting up their life in certain ways, and I'm just reflecting that. I'm just a reflection on the water. Okay. There's the shallow end, which is kind of like taking the road that's going to lead to the most pleasure the quickest. What's going to give me a good time right now? You know, and that's what the Princess of Wands is looking for. It's not always the right choice, though. You know, what may be good for me right now, what may feel good now, may not feel good later. May not be ultimately good for me in the long term anyway. And then there's the sort of deep end of the pool here, where we really get down to that soul desire. What is going to mean the most to you? What decision? There's an energetic decision here. There's a choice about which way to steer the boat. Keep going the way we're turning this way, or to just crank the wheel and turn the tanker, you know, a complete 90 degrees. So big choice, but this is going to lead to, I think, really the biggest win in your life. But you have to understand what that means for you. What is important to you? What is at the very depth of your soul? And I feel like going this way is going to lead to you discovering that. Okay, we don't have to know that now. But what you have to do, I think, now is to realize that making this move, making this decision, is going to require that you... See, this is kind of like a campfire in a frozen, dark forest, right? And you are that campfire. And this is the fire within you that is able to take all of these challenging circumstances and transmute them into depth of meaning and purpose. Okay, so it's kind of like you're creating the meaning in your life by doing the things that you intuitively know are the right thing for you, not just the easy thing. Not just the quick result, I'm trying to make a fast buck over here, you know. So by following this path, following the more challenging path, but the path of more growth for sure, making the more difficult decisions, taking control of your life rather than being led by the impulse. Okay, I think that you're reaching the depths of your life, of your emotions, of your sense of purpose. Okay, the Queen of Cups is all about emotional transparency, depth of purpose, depth of meaning. Okay, and really radical self-love and radical self-acceptance. Okay, I think you're realizing that this is not you ultimately, that this may be, yes, on the surface, this is kind of that reflection that it's just, yeah, where do I sign? But no, if we really listen, I think we're being called this way, into this dark, scary, frozen forest so that we can be that bright light, that we could be that fire that's going to, transform this. Now, Path of the Serpent, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is totally free, doesn't cost anything. The Six of Cups, right? This is pleasure. This is real pleasure. This isn't just instant gratification. This is saying that this has a depth of meaning for me, that I feel like I'm doing something meaningful in life. I'm doing something worthwhile. And I think that you're somebody who takes more pleasure in a job well done than in whatever I got to do to get home fast, you know. So you're not someone who like cuts corners. You're not somebody who does things sort of half-heartedly, right? This is whole heart right here, okay? This is a 3 plus a 3 of cups, This is abundance within, connecting with the right thing. It's like you found the right, instead of being a square peg in a round hole, your square peg found a square hole, right? You found where you fit in, and I think it really feels like home. This feels kind of what we were talking about with the Four of Wands, like where do I fit in, where do I belong, what is home for me? We realize that this past thing isn't it, that it's kind of a bon voyage instead of a welcome home. This is the feeling that you're out on this, in this new, you're camping now. It's like you've sacrificed the comfort of a luxury hotel room to go camping in the woods, right? But this feels like home. This feels like this is where I belong. This feels like me. Maybe you're the type of person that you feel out of place at a luxurious hotel. I don't, but I also feel very comfortable camping. But I think we have to be honest with ourselves about what feels right. Okay, and I think that with this Six of Cups, it feels like this is a community for you. And it feels like you've found where you belong. Okay, this is the feeling of really of a deep pleasure, knowing that I've taken the path that it's full of challenges, that there are going to be obstacles, but it's through those obstacles that we find meaning. Otherwise, we wouldn't have this kind of pleasure. We'd have maybe a Four of Cups, maybe a luxury or something. That it feels good for the moment, but it doesn't last. And it doesn't go beyond the surface or maybe the shallow end of the pool. It doesn't go down to the depths. So it's kind of like you're swimming past the surface of the water, past the shallow end, and you're swimming all the way to the deep. Right? Because that's where the real meaning is. That's where there is more satisfaction for you. I don't know if you're literally swimming or not. I don't know. It could be. Waters might be cold this time of year, at least in the northern hemisphere. But this is the understanding that there is much more satisfaction that comes through facing the challenges on the road that we are meant to be on, rather than impulsively or even sort of running away from those, escaping to something that may be more instantly gratifying. This is more lasting, right? And it's very nice. We have a Four of Swords in the environment as well. Now, the Six of Cups, this is the big win. This is the biggest win of your life, having, I think, avoided this and having changed course to get over to whatever this Princess of Pentacles is. I think that's going to feel like the biggest win of your life. I think it's going to feel like kind of like you dodged a bullet over here. Okay, or you avoided a big mistake. Let's say, right? Even though that mistake may be dressed up very nicely, right? You realize that it's just gratification. It's just luxury over there, but real happiness and real pleasure is over here. Okay, and the Four of Swords in the position of your environment is kind of telling me that we're not trying to give any credence to what everybody else is doing or saying. To me, this kind of feels like we're not really listening anymore. To me, it feels like, it's a Four. To me, it feels like a stability in your thought process. It feels like you know who you are, you know what your plan is, and the critics, the naysayers, the haters, it's kind of like you don't hear those voices anymore, right? To me, this feels like a real reprieve from a Five of Swords, a Seven of Swords, where we're just confused, we don't know, we're stressed out. I think what happens is we get stressed out and we don't know why, but the stress is coming from being over here. Right? If we had a Five of Swords, it would be because of this. And it would just be like, my mind is not at ease. I can't stop thinking about this and worrying. Why do I feel so stressed out? Well, it's because you're here when you're supposed to be here. Okay? So it would kind of be like that stress or that anxiety or that frustration when we know we're supposed to be somewhere else right now. You ever have that feeling? Sometimes we get that feeling and it doesn't make any logical sense. Wherever you could be, that's where you're supposed to be. But there could be this anxiety that says, I feel like I'm supposed to be somewhere else. What is going on here? Right? But you don't have that. You've got peace of mind. You've got a 4 of swords. You've got no stress. You're sleeping perfectly well at night. Why? Because you're camping in the wilderness instead of sitting at the luxury hotel, right? Because it feels tranquil. It feels right. There is a certain sense of peacefulness when you know you're on the right path for you. There's no anxiety. There's no frustration about where we're supposed to be, because we are where we are supposed to be. And I think that's one way that we can kind of gauge the authenticity or the truth of the choice that we made. If we make a choice, we go this way. What does your heart and mind tell you about that? See, this is heart and mind. Heart tranquil, mind at rest. Okay? If we're over here, if we've chosen this path, I think we'd have agitation. I think we would have a 5 of swords, a 5 of cups, or worse. Okay? May start out as a 4 of cups, but it may be a 5 of swords. It may get to a 7, 8, 9, 10 of swords. It may get to an 8 of cups. Okay? But turning this way, and unveiling our true desires and our true nature, I think you're experiencing tranquility and restfulness, peacefulness in your heart and your mind. Okay? And that's one measure of whether or not you're doing the right thing, you made the right choice. What does your heart and mind tell you? Now, it's not to say that you're not going to feel confused sometimes. It's not going to be that we're never going to get a 5 of swords again, because we will. Probably the mystery card, right? Be that 5 or 7 or 9 or 10 of swords. Because of course there's going to be mental stress. Of course there's going to be emotional upset in the future. But having made this decision, if we ask ourselves, we look deep within to our Queen of Cups, I think you'll feel this, and it's saying, okay, now I can move forward. I know this is the right path. And now these can change. So now we have permission for our heart and mind to get sort of agitated and worked up and stressed out because we're going to approach challenges. And that's when the devil becomes our best friend. Because the devil is climbing the mountain no matter what. Despite the obstacles, I'm going to make my best life. Despite the obstacles, I'm going to do this path. Despite the obstacles and challenges and hardships, despite the stress and the upset, this is the mountain for me. Right? We could go the way of the Princess of Wands into the luxury hotel and succumb to the temptation and to the desires for gratification. This can become a pleasure drive, the devil card. We could succumb to that and acquiesce to that and never, choose a life where there's no challenges anywhere ever, right? But I think very quickly we would tire of that. Very quickly, the devil, that driving force in us, would have to start looking around for something else. That's the thing about the engine of the car. It doesn't like to be parked, right? And it parks somewhere, the engine's going to get restless. And pretty soon the car's revving, saying, let's go, let's do something, right? And very often this is what happens. We start chasing pleasure, or we get this aggression in our lives, and because the engine needs to do something. So it's kind of like you're satisfying your true human nature by putting yourself on the road of growth, of challenge, of in the pressure cooker. You're going to become your very best self. Okay? So the devil energy really is that driving force. It really is the engine of the car. And it can depending on where we drive it, it's going to be our best friend or our worst enemy. Especially if we keep driving toward things that may gratify us immediately, but don't last very long. But if we can steer the car, steer the ship toward something that is more meaningful to us, something that has more challenges but offers us at least a tranquility and a peacefulness, we can overcome those challenges and obstacles, and the goat will always have something to do, right? It becomes a creative drive. Well, a little bit of pleasure too, a little bit of aggression. Sure, we need that. But the goat is on this creative mission to be the vehicle to produce whatever it is that's inside of you that's trying to get out. And that's why you feel frustrated on the other path. It's your soul trying to knock on the door saying, hey, let me out of here. So we wonder why we feel ill at ease in our life. I'm in a luxury hotel. Why do I feel weird? Right? It's because your soul is saying, get out there and do something, right? Get out there and work. And I don't mean to say that if you're living a life of creativity and living your purpose, that you're not going to get any kind of luxury. No, I think you will, and I think you can, and I think, but it's going to feel like it is earned, like it is deserved. It's going to feel like it's not you running from anything. It's you accepting the kind of the plan that Spirit has for you, and taking accountability, taking responsibility for being the vehicle of your own soul, the vehicle of your own destiny. This is a really big win for you. This is going to lead to, I think, greater and greater things, because we're always going to be striving to be in perfect alignment with that spiritual energy and always be the vehicle for this destiny, right? This is the Chariot card. This is the vehicle. You're carrying your destiny. You're carrying your Holy Grail right there in the middle. And you're saying, this is my responsibility. And I've got to be strong, fortified, right? We're in full armor. Nice chariot, a lot of sphinxes to carry us forward, which are the virtues, right? The powers of the sphinx. The virtues that help us to meet with the challenges of life going forward. We are armored against those hardships. We're armored against, the haters and the naysayers, right? We're armored against what people throw at us, what people may say about us, the way people will criticize you. You're putting yourself out there. And rather than hiding away, let's say, you're putting yourself out there, and you're going to be an object of ridicule. You're going to be an object of the haters, right? There will be some people cheering you on, but there will be other people that want to see you fail. And you've got to be armored against that, because this is your mission. This is your path in life. And I think the greater the trial, the greater the triumph as well. Okay, but there's a responsibility. You've got to carry this Holy Grail, this destiny. You've got to carry it forward. Okay. Let's look at the mystery card. It would be really cool to see the Empress come out, right? I think it's going to be swords cards, though. That's my vibe anyway. That's what I'm feeling. If you have a prediction, though, please put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. Yeah, Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is really good, though. I'm happy it's not a 5, 7, 9, 10 of swords. It's a page. And this is saying that this is somebody who is, it's like a knight in training. You're still learning how to be the very best chariot and charioteer that you can be. You're not going into this already a master. Right? You're giving yourself the freedom to try and struggle and fail, and sometimes we climb up the hill and we end up sliding right back down on our butts because it's like, I wasn't expecting that. So we realize that we still have a lot to learn. We're still growing. There's skills I got to learn. There's ways of sort of dealing with things and dealing with people that I have to learn. We're learning how to maintain our own mental equilibrium. The page is a squire, is a knight in training. Still learning how to wield the sword. Learning how to not care about what other people say. Or we could care. We can be affected by it. Sure, somebody criticizes me, I'm going to feel it. But we can't let that in all the way and force us to do something different. If we change our behavior every time somebody says something bad about us, then we don't have any power or control over our own lives, right? We're powerless. This card wouldn't be here. You have a fire burning in your gut that says you can You can choose where to put your life, where to direct your energy. You have control over that. We don't have control over what other people say or do. But we do have control over how we handle that. Are we going to remain steadfast, or are we going to be changeable? Okay? Are we going to be like a feather in the wind? Whenever somebody blows something our way, we're going to be just tossed around, right? No. We're going to be solid, steady, stable. We're going to be armored against it. We're learning how. Okay? And it's going to take time. And it's going to take time to figure out what the obstacles are and how to get through them. So that's kind of where we're saying with the Four of Swords, there is this mental tranquility and this peacefulness right now, and this restfulness. But as we continue, as the devil continues climbing up the mountain, we're going to need to activate the mind. To use the mind to be able to concentrate on what we're doing, to figure out what skills I need to learn and develop to get through this obstacle, while at the same time trying to ignore all those people yelling at you. It's like a baseball pitcher on the mound, right? I got to figure out how to strike this batter out. Meanwhile, the crowd's booing and throwing their, beer cups and stuff onto the field and all that kind of nonsense. So we have to, we're going to fail. Very often we're going to have a reaction to somebody. Somebody's going to be criticizing, and you're going to have an outburst. You're going to yell at them sometimes. We're going to try not to. But it's going to happen once in a while. And so the page of Swords is giving ourselves permission to make mistakes. Giving ourselves permission to not be perfect, but we are dedicated. Yeah. I love this reading for you. I think this is wonderful. We're going to do an extended reading as well. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. We're going to do an Jing reading and some oracle cards. All right. New readings for Sagittarius Wednesday and Sunday. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. Doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you, and we're all in this together.